They're like little nuggets, little tiny nuggets. Come on, girly. How strong that smell is depends on you. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. But right now we're inside. I have to clean the quail places inside today. So we have 3 places right now that we have quail. So I figured I've been getting quite a few questions about the quail. So I'm gonna do a video about the quail. I have quail inside in a room that is set off from my house that has a door. And then I also have quail coveys outside. I have 2 coveys outside. I have quite a few quail that I have hatched recently inside. The group at the bottom, the 3 that I keep talking about, I was supposed to process them this weekend. I did not get around to it because y'all, I got the whole fall garden planted. The main garden is planted, the greenhouse is planted, and I started working on the green stalks. I was really busy. So like I took a day off. I guess that was Saturday. I said I was taking a day off. And then Sunday I got up, and let me just be clear, I was so motivated. So I know that I said we were gonna plant them out in like phases. I got pretty much everything done. The only thing left to plant out are the green stalks, and they're still growing summer things. So I didn't get around to culling them or processing them, whatever you want to say. So we do need to clean these out today. We have 3 spaces. So I left the small ones in the tote for now. I have only lost, I want to say 4 of the 26. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure. I'll count when I clean this out. So these quail are a few days old, and I will pick one up and show them to you. The quail down here got to be about 6 to 8 weeks old because they're already laying. And then the quail over here, probably 3 to 4 weeks old. So we got to clean out all of the cages. And the new brooder did come. However, I didn't feel like putting that together over the weekend either. So with that being said, hold on one second, y'all. So with that being said, I did not put it together. It's over here in a box, and I will get it put together. But the dryer is gone. How exciting is that? The dryer is gone. So let's see here. So what are quail? Quail are game birds. So they are not considered farm animals or livestock as I understand it. And my locality does not have any rules about game bird. They have rules about chickens. So I can only have 6 chickens in my backyard where I live. But there's no rules about these quail. And I am not raising quail as my only means of meat. But why I am raising them is if I need to know how to process food, if I need to be able to raise meat, I want to know how to. And so that's why I'm doing it. Also, I feel like eventually, once I get this down, I could be a resource for other people who are in the same situation as me, living in an urban setting and either maybe or suburban or HOA, and they can't have livestock, but they can have quail. So if that's something you're interested in, that's what we're going to talk about today. By the way, while we're on the topic of being prepared, I need to tell y'all about the newest all powers generator that they sent over to me. And so as it relates to being prepared for food, well, meat, I'm raising quail so that if I need it, I will have it. All Powers always sends me their generators to test out for them. The newest one they sent me is pretty big. It is 2,500 watts, which is like, that can power a good amount of things, but they are powered to be able to power cooking items, refrigerators, freezers, things like that, if you get the right size. And so they sent me their newest one. I want to tell y'all about it real quick, show you what it looks like, show you the options that it has on it, tell you what I like, what I don't like. And there is only really one thing, no, there's 2 things that I'm not a huge fan of, but they aren't things that are deal breakers for me. So I actually really do like this one. Honestly, I actually like them all. So I said this one, they all are beneficial, right? So I have one and it powers my workstation upstairs. I was blowing the fuses in the house, or maybe not the fuses, what they call the breakers with my workstation. I'm using one generator to power my workstation. They have a smaller one that's good for charging laptops, for phones, things like small electronics. They have a mid-size one that I also could use for my workstation, but I have a smaller one up in my workstation because it's in my living room. So the one that they just sent me, let me tell you what it is. It's the R2500 Plus SP0337 solar generator. They can be charged by the sun. You can purchase the solar panels, but you can also charge it in the house. You can also charge it in your car. So let me show you. So it's this one right right here. It's much bigger. You have USB-C outlets on it. You got 2 of those, so that's cool. You also just have your regular USBs. You have 4 of your regular plugs, so there's 2 there. There's 2 here. The addition for this one is for RVs. So if you go camping and you have an RV, it has the RV attachment as well. That is really cool. They also have the DC outlet, so this is for like cigarette lighter, I guess, type situation. And then they have all different kinds here, 12 volt 10A. And I don't know if I ever mentioned to you all that you can connect these generators. So this is another one. You can connect them for more power. So that's really cool too. They have 2 of those on here. And then on the other side, let me show you. You have the power connection to charge it inside. This is a trip switch. So if you get an error, you can press this button and it'll reset the generator for you. And then this is the connection for the solar panels. So I'm really liking that one. The only thing for me, there's 2 things for me. It's very heavy. To me, for a man, it's probably not heavy. For someone who does a lot of lifting, it's probably not heavy, but it's pretty heavy to me. Also, the solar panels are also heavy. It's larger, so of course it would have to be heavier than anything I've had so far. And then it doesn't have the charging where you can sit it on top, but you got the RV plug on this. So I think that was a good addition, especially if you go camping. I took these with us when we went camping our first time, and I'm not gonna lie, they saved our life. Not the largest one, because I didn't have the largest one, but I took the rest of them and they saved us. It's how we charged our phones the whole time. It's how we cooked when we did cook. They're really nice. Anyway, I worked with All Powers several times. I have nothing bad to say about their products. Last year, as a matter of fact, the electricity went out and we weren't without electricity because we had these. And so that's like a part to me of being prepared. And it doesn't have to be prepared for doomsday. It doesn't have to be prepared for the world ending. It could be being prepared for a snowstorm, because I believe that's what happened when ours went out. For just a regular storm or tornado, any of those things, you can be prepared for them. And honest truth, you can charge these with the sun when you need to. My freezer just cut on. You can charge it with the sun. So even if like you don't have electricity in your house, you could just take it outside. As long as you have some sun, you can charge these up. So I'm a big fan of All Powers, a big fan of All Powers. And if you are interested in looking into these products, I'm gonna put a link down in my description so that you can take a look at them. And I do have a discount code. There is a discount code and I will put that down there too. So let's get back to the video. So I use this as the heater. It is a Producer's Pride heater. You can use a heat lamp. It's a red light that hangs from wherever you have them. I did not feel comfortable with it because it gets very hot, as I understand it. If it falls, it could catch fire. Could. All of this is could. I felt more comfortable using the heater, and so that is what I use. And in the case of these little guys, they're just in a tote, and I have like a little pad down here, and then I put straw under them as well. So we still have a decent amount. You can see that. I'm actually very happy about that. We're gonna take these out. I'm going to count, and then I'm gonna clean this out. It does not take long at all. I still have their water and their food in these little tops. These are canning tops, so I need to clean off their rocks and give them a little more food, but I fed them and did all of this morning. They can be very messy, and I like to point that out because I am not trying to sell the illusion that there is no smell. There is a smell, but as long as you clean it often, it is not an overwhelming smell. If you came in my house, you would not know that I'm raising quail down here in this homestead room. That's what I'm calling it. Pantry, homestead room, whatever you want to call it. You would not know that, but you do have to keep it clean. If you do not, you have to keep all of these cages clean. If you do not, there will be a overwhelming smell. I can assure you of that because they are animals that belong outside that I have in my house. So we'll go ahead and get these out, and I'm gonna count because I haven't counted. Oh, let me show you. So I originally purchased eggs from someone local. So I purchased a dozen of eggs from someone local. I hatched out my first group. I can't even remember what happened to them. I know at some point I only was down to 3, 1 male, 2 females. The male got out. As soon as it was time for them to start laying again, so many things have happened in my journey to get, coveys that were stable and to have enough to really start to process. A lot has happened in my journey. But the next time I decided to hatch, that when it was not my eggs and it was not eggs that I got from someone local, I got them from My Shire Farm, and they do have a website. I'll link it down in the description. If I forget to link it, just tell me in the comments you didn't link my Shire Farm, and I will do that. And I think I purchased 50 eggs. Can't remember how much it was. That was a very long time ago, but I purchased 50 eggs. I hatched those. That's how I was able to really get my coveys going, and I started hatching myself again after that. The incubator that I use is a Nurture Right 360. I got it from Tractor Supply, but I'm sure they have them on Amazon too. So here's the thing. I tried a different incubator. I was not happy with it. I actually returned it. And so I have 2 of these because I want to start hatching more at one time, which I have said before. So what I do is I just have one box and I clean each one back to back. Each time that it is time to clean, I do them all. Regardless if one looks nastier than the other, I just do them all at once. I've gotten 3 things done at one time. So I just kept the Nurture Right 360 box from the newest incubator I purchased. I put the quail in the box and then, you know, I put them back. It's very simple. It's very simple. And you can use this bedding, like if you have a composting area or whatever. I'm not gonna do that. This is going in the trash. I'm not doing my compost right now. Like, I'm not taking care of it. And I don't want to put something that could turn out to be very smelly in my backyard. So it is going in the trash. So let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 3 in my hand at once. Let me see if I can show y'all. They're so tiny. So that's 4, 5, 6. They move really fast. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I lost 5. That is an improvement for me, y'all. I've lost 5 so far, but that's why I decided I'm just gonna leave them in the tote because my survival ratio has been really good this time. I'm very happy. Now I will tell you, I helped 2 out of their eggs. I normally try not to do that. I've done it, maybe once before. The quail didn't survive, and then I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna try it again. Those 2 didn't survive either. So I told you I had 26. So I'm counting from the 26 that I had. After I got those 26 and I moved them all down here, 2 more I noticed they were hatching, so I helped them out of the egg. That I'm not gonna do that anymore because it makes for a rough life for them. And if you don't want to do what you need to do so that they don't suffer, it's very sad. With that being said, we won't be helping them out of the egg anymore. If it does not happen naturally, I won't be doing it. And so for the tote, I just try to dump it into the bag. Normally it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like you just saw, I have to sweep when I'm finished down here anyway. So now I just have these little pads and I put it down at the bottom and then I put some straw on it. It's what kind of straw is that? It's like finely shaved straw. That is not the name of it. I do fold it a little bit just to make sure it kind of fits. Fold it in here, make sure it fits a little bit so it's not jumbled up, and I just fold it up just like that. I try to leave some on the wall because they are messy enough to literally get poop on the walls of this tote, which is crazy to me. This is the straw that I use. I forgot to move, y'all. And then I just drop some of the straw down in here. The straw does help with the smell because it's a carbon, so it helps with the smell. And then the one with the small quail, with the babies, the newest ones, I don't put a whole lot of straw in here because they're small. Now the one down the bottom, they do get a lot of straw. All right, so now I'm just gonna go and rinse these rocks and also get them a little more food, and then I will be right back. So using something this small to give them food and water, you have to like come back and re-up 3 to 4 times a day, but I'm at home, so that's not a big deal for me. The feed that I use is game bird feed. It's by Purina. This is what I use when they are babies. This is the starter feed. When I feed them as they get older, I just use all flock. And they have a game bird feed that's for layers, but because I have chickens and quail, it's less expensive for me to buy all flock because I can feed that to both the chickens and the quail. And for the little ones, because they could get so messy, I just spray the food a little bit to weigh it down. Also, if they were in the incubator, I'd just be using a regular feeder and waterer, but they're not. They're in a tote right now. So we just put that back, and then I use this. This is a heater or a brooder. If you want it to be a brooder, you sit it down. If you want it to be a heater, you sit it up. I use it as a brooder. So I sit it down so they can go under it as if they were under their mother if they had been hatched and cared for by their mother. That's it. That quick. We have cleaned that one out. These will be to replace the coveys outside. Anything extra, I'm gonna process them. I like to do a covey ratio of 5 to 1. 5 female, 1 male, and that should produce a good amount of fertilized eggs so I can hatch again. If you have larger spaces, you can absolutely do more, a higher ratio, but I do it for the ratio that I have. I mean, for the space that I have. They're like little nuggets, little tiny nuggets. And I did have one that when it was hatched, it just couldn't walk, but it kept trying. Every time I went to pick it up, it would flip over. So I gave it a chance, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the 5 that I lost. I'm so proud that I only lost 5. Like, I'm serious. I normally lose way more than that. So now we're down here to the biggins. The biggins and the wildins. They are wild, y'all. Let's make sure we got this box ready to go because they do not play no games. Do you understand me? They're older. They're all females and there's an egg in there. So they're older, but all females, and you can tell that from their chest. They have speckled chest, and that's how you know it's a female. And it might look like I'm holding them tight, but I'm not. And quail like to hide, which is why I did not see a problem putting the tote on top of them. They like to hide and be up under things. I think they'll be fine. Come on, girly. All right, and now I'm gonna try to quickly get theirs cleaned out because they just don't enjoy being in there. So I use this kind of waterer for them. It's a baby chick waterer. It works for the quail. And then this is the feeder that I use for them. That has poop on it. I did not get it on my hand because I noticed it. This is pretty much, but I did that time. This is pretty much the size of a quail egg. So they're very small. Normally when I eat quail eggs, whenever I'm eating them, I probably eat 5 to 6 a piece. That works for me, in case you were interested in that. Also think their water at some point must have fallen over because it's kind of wet in here. That might be where a little bit of my stench is coming from down here right now because this is wet. But I do the same thing. Fold it up, drop it into the bag. And I do wear gloves sometimes. Sometimes I don't. As long as I wash my hands, I feel fine. And again, like I said, I'm gonna have to sweep down here, so I don't try to make sure I keep everything clean while I'm cleaning it. That would just make it take longer. And the same thing here. I just take one of these, roll it out. You can get these from the $1.25 tree. I don't know if they have a size this big because I didn't go to the $1.25 tree this time. I went to CVS because I do like this size a lot. I go there, but it can be done cheaper. But I just like that size. And so that's where I go. And now we're gonna put some straw in here. Try to just get it as close as I can. It's a very quick task. It's just that you may have to do it 2, maybe even 3 when you have larger quail times a week if you don't want your area to smell. I do not want my area to smell because even though we're not down here a lot, we do have to come down here because our deep freezer is down here. So nobody wants to walk into the smell. All right, need to get a paper towel so I get that poop off of there. And I'm gonna go and dump this too. I'm back with no paper towel. Hold on, y'all. And so with these ladies, like I said, I feel like they're probably around 8 weeks or so. But I normally call around 6 to 8 weeks because I'm not trying to keep them. If I have hatched them for culling, then I don't want to keep them too long. And these weren't actually hatched for culling, but I did not get enough of a survival rate where I could keep them all. Now I could keep these 3 inside and have them lay for me during the winter. I do not want to do that. She jumped out of the box. I don't want to do that though, so we are not going to do that. Also, one of the things that will happen when it gets soiled in here is they can start literally getting their feces stuck to their feet. And I do notice that, and I think it's because the water came out somehow. I don't know if they knocked it over, and so it was wet in there, and so their manure did not dry up. You can get it off. You can soak their feet in water, like you have to hold them and soak their feet. It'll start to kind of loosen loosen up and you can get it off. I've had to do it before, but once you clean it, it's possible that it'll just come off. That is a thing that can happen with quail. If you don't keep it clean, if where they are is moist and the manure can't dry up, that can happen. And I noticed that on one of their feet, which is why I mentioned that to you all. I do have a culling video. I've only ever made one. I do cull inside of my house. As long as you hold their whole body, you can just hold them and everything will drain out once you remove their head. And so I do it in my kitchen. You can do it outside. You can do it wherever you want to. I just find more comfort doing it inside, and that's where I do it. I put a plastic bag down into the sink, like a store bag, a grocery bag down in the sink. I double it up, and that's how I do it. But I will link to my culling processing video. I'll never make another one of those. It is a easy process as it relates to what you're doing, but emotionally, it's not an easy process. I don't know that it's ever gonna get easy for me. I don't know that it's ever gonna get easy, but I do know that if I need to do this, I want to be able to do it. I feel very comfortable that I can now. Yeah, it's still also a way that we eat. And as it relates to eating them, I normally cook to a person. Like me and my son, we'll eat two, and then you just put a good amount of sides with it, and then you have a whole meal. 4 birds could do 1 meal for us. And I bake it a lot, but I also will fry it every now and then. But if I fry it, it's because I left the skin on. But plucking a quail is not easy, so I rarely leave the skin on them. Rarely. All right, now these are the babies that I want to say are maybe 3 weeks old. I'm thinking they're around 3 weeks old, and I will show you them and the size they are. All right, so this is a male, and you can tell it's a male because he doesn't, well, no, well, I can't really tell yet. I think it's a male though. They are just very tan, but this is the size at like, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I need to look. All right, so there's 5 in here. I hatched a total of 7 in this group, so I lost 2, which is not that bad. They can also jump out of this brooder at this age. I definitely leave it closed. The babies aren't able to get up that high just yet. Hello, thank you for working with me. Nice. I should also put my hair up, but I've already started now, so might as well just finish it up. This brooder changes heights. So you got 3 ways that you could do this. When they are just born, I put it down as low as I can. The older they get, I move it up to this height, and now they can go down and under it however they need to. So they are out of food. Okay, well, no, they have water, but it's pretty gross. I'll be right back. And I get the question often, are quail easier to take care of than chickens? Easier is not, I don't think they're easier because they need the same things that chickens need. They need food, they need water, they need a clean, safe space. So I wouldn't say they're easier to take care of because they are also much messier than chickens, but chickens are also in a much larger space. So I wouldn't say that they're easier. I would say that it's about the same. However, they take up less space. They also can be culled early. They start laying eggs earlier than chickens lay eggs, so you can have eggs pretty early. But I wouldn't say that they're easier because like I said, I may have to clean down here 2 to 3 times a week, depending on how messy that they are. So with that being said, I wouldn't say easier. I would say they take up less space and you get a return on your investment much quicker, if you will. And like for me, I don't eat my chickens. They are simply for pets and simply for eggs. And so I'm getting 2 things from 1 thing using them. Now, once they move out of this brooder, I will completely clean the brooder with like Clorox wipes, but I don't do that. I don't personally do that every time because that would take forever and I would use a million Clorox wipes. I don't do that every time, but I do when I am taking them out and moving them somewhere else or processing them to get ready for the next group that will go in here. But it's a pretty simple process to clean them and honestly to take care of them. I come down here in the mornings. I check them in the mornings. If anybody needs food and water, I give them food and water. If the food and water needs to be changed, I change the food and water. And then throughout the day, I come and check as well. And then at night, I come and check. That's my process. If you raise quail, what do you do? Do you raise quail? Leave that in the comments. I know I've seen a few people that raise raise quail in my comments. I also watch a few people who raise quail. I'll link some other people because there are other ways to do this, and there are people who are adamant that you do not want to do any of this in your house, and that's okay. We all have what we are willing to deal with, but that's why I keep trying to say, because I don't want anybody to think like I can do this, it's not gonna smell. There's gonna be a smell. How strong that smell is depends on you. Depends on you and how often you plan to clean their spaces. So yeah, I'll link some of the people that I watch, and it's not a lot of people because this isn't something that, you know, a lot of people do, but I enjoy it. I like knowing that I have a way to raise meat if I need it, and I'm gonna learn it while I don't need it, so that when I do, if I do, I don't have to worry about learning it. Now we're gonna put them back. I like to close one side of this, the side that's over the brooder with them, because they will absolutely jump out. They will absolutely jump out, see? And somebody said that they don't fly. They do. They definitely take flight. Are they gonna fly up in the air, like way up in the air and leave? No, but they definitely take flight. Be well aware of that too. And then when they do take flight, they hide because they like to hide. Like when my quail got outside, it took flight over the privacy fence, and then it was hot. Uh-oh, I hate to do that. They get scared very quickly. But when I go wash my hands, I'll be back. Okay, did that. But what I was saying is when it got out, it flew over the fence. And then when I found it, it was like in some brush, trees, leaves, whatever you want to call it, over on the other side. So they do take flight. So everything is clean down here. Well, not clean. I need to sweep. And I know y'all said y'all want to see how I cook them and stuff. I'll probably do a short. I'm trying to get into doing shorts a little bit more. I'll probably do a short. I probably won't do a full video on that, but I may do a short of how I cook them. Like I said, for the most part, I bake them. I got everybody out. I bake them, but I also fry them if I decided to pluck anything. All right, it's time to sweep. And then I'll take all of this outside. So once we're finished with this, I'm going to take you outside to show you my setup that I have outside for the quail. All right, so that is done. I'm gonna take this stuff outside, and then I'm going to take you outside to see my outdoor setup. All right, now we're outside. A lot of you have seen this before, but in case you haven't, they scare very easily. So if I don't have to open it, I don't. These coops are from Ava Tuvin. Both of the coops are from Ava Tuvin. I've had the one over there the longest. We do have a few spots, you know, because it's been in the elements, but in general, like you can see right here, we have a few spots because it's been in the elements, but in general, it's worked pretty well. I use the same waterers all the way through their life because they don't get that much bigger. And the feeders, I just get the long red ones for the ones that's outside. Put pots in there. They will hide in them. They don't really go at the top that often, although in this covey they will lay in the top. I do have them on sand outside. I found that easier for me, but this is the setup outside for the quail. So it's just two houses, but you can also just raise them. Let me get up. You can also just raise them like in a square box type thing with wire, and then their manure will fall to the ground, and then you don't have to worry about all of the cleaning. I just felt like their habitat is more on the ground and hidden, so I wanted to keep it that way for them. Now my legs don't enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, my legs don't enjoy it, and as I get older this might not be a thing, but right now I think it's fine. I also have this hardware cloth up under them because the one that got out, they essentially dug under and came out of the coop, and so I do have hardware cloth under both coops. This one, oh no, you can see it. So this is under there. That keeps them from getting out and things from getting in as well. So that's my casual conversation about quail. But if you have any questions, so like I don't really think too deep into it like when I'm doing this, but there may be questions that people have that I haven't thought about. So if you have questions, leave them down in the comments. I will answer them because this is actually a really good way to grow your own meat in a urban space. It's a good way to grow your own meat in an urban space. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye y'all.